Hello again, and welcome to episode 29 of the PS Podcast, Australia's #1 PlayStation podcast, hosted by us. I'm one of your hosts, Khayl Adam, and as ever, I'm joined by Govinda, Aldrich of the Deep, Whitehurst.
Prepare to get pegged.
If you like what we do here, you can review us on iTunes, 5 stars please, and tweet at us at _PS Podcast and suggest topics for the show. We also have a Facebook page where you can join our ever-growing community. We post episodes weekly and cover everything from Uncharted to Parappa the Rapper. And now on with the show. Govinda, what have you been playing?
Oh my god, you did it. You fucking
I
did
did
it.
it. I nearly went for it as well.
I'm glad you didn't, because I'd really like you to just ask me and then I can tell you.
I know what you've been playing.
I've played... Oh, it's because I told you, you're cheating.
Yeah, I know.
I have played Dark Souls.
Me too.
I have played a little bit of The Division.
Yeah, me too. We're going to talk about that later.
Probably not much enough, but a little bit.
Yep.
I've also played the Doom beta.
Yep.
Starting with Dark Souls.
Yeah, I think Dark Souls got a bit short thrift last week.
Well, we'd only played it for a couple hours, and it was getting late. And
I wasn't feeling great.
But it's also like sometimes you need to let the initial hype, the initial excitement die down to really you take a step back and you actually have a proper look at it.
Yes, let it percolate.
Still great.
Very
It's been
good.
percolating for about a week now. Still fucking dope.
It's been another disgusting week in my life. A lot of Dark Souls. This is like The Division all over again.
Unfortunately, I've been kind of busy, so I actually didn't get to commit the amount of time that you have.
Surprisingly, you're almost where I am.
A lot of that's... this Dark Souls experience is a lot different to the last Dark Souls experience.
Yep.
In that, I actually had to completely backtrack for hours because I just run through areas with you and an old friend Jack.
Jack
your
Harnley, friend of the
housemate
show.
Jack. So there was times where I would just, when I was finally by myself, I was just like, where am I? I didn't even know. I was like, I don't even know how I got here. I just followed some phantom friends and this is where I am, and that boss is way too difficult. And so I would just go back to areas that I knew there was things that I missed and stuff. So I've just been doing a bunch of that. Pretty happy with my character right now.
Mm-hmm.
I went for the barbarian kind of. Got a shield and axe.
Yep.
Rocking some kind of the northern armor, if you're familiar with the game out there.
I am familiar with it.
Not you, talking to the listeners out there. If they're familiar with the game, it's kind of a heavy cloth with a nice armored shoulder and some fur.
It's the starting armor for the warrior.
It's looking pretty fuck hot at the moment. One thing that really bugs me is the jangle noise.
You know that's tied to your weight, I believe.
Really? Because
Yeah.
I feel like it was as soon as I changed from the knight's whatever armor, I had the fallen knight's armor, I believe, for a little bit.
Yeah.
And as soon as I changed to this, it just completely changed the sound it would make when I'd walk.
I could be wrong, actually, because I thought it was the closer you were to the weight threshold. But now that I think about it, I've been wearing knight's armor the whole time.
Yeah.
And that could be it.
Yeah, so it's got this weird jingle jangle, and I don't know, what's jingle jangling, you know?
Chainmail?
There's armor underneath the cloth that I'm seeing, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Because it's actually solid armor. It's only slightly worse in the physical defense stats, like 0.2 and stuff.
Yep.
But its resistances to bleed and poison and stuff are way up.
better.
So
Yep.
I would definitely went with that. I don't even know. The reason we went with Aldrich at the start of the episode is because Aldrich fucking pegged me for 2 days. Just shoved 12 anal beads in me and yanked them out
Just
in one go. Multiple times.
No prep work
I
at
was
all.
sore and bloody, little to no lube. It was a fucking mess.
Yeah, it's been a bit different, isn't it? I think that's definitely one of the downsides to playing co-op, is that you don't learn these areas so well.
I'm actually okay with it. It's kind of, I think it's maybe because I was a little scared of Dark Souls. It's just so brutal when you do it by yourself.
I've been literally scared in this game. So unnerved, on the edge of my seat.
And it's almost a nicer way for me to play it this time because I didn't finish Dark Souls 2, and a lot of that was you'd already finished. My housemate had already finished it, so I kind of was left by myself in areas that for me were just
too much.
The dragons, man. And I'm sure I could have just run through it, and just something clicked, and I was just like, I've done enough. And I just put it down.
You were very close then.
I was so close.
Yeah, very close.
And just to avoid that happening in this, it's almost good the way we've done it, because that way I've pushed through some pretty brutal bosses, and then I can go back and learn the areas myself, and I've been finding like sick little secrets. And
Yep.
Spoiler to anyone, if you find the Smoldering Lake, just pray. That's all you can do.
That's all you can do. Although it's funny, because I just went back there, and it did seem like initially terrifying, but now you just like roll through it.
Yeah, I'm sure I could do it. It was just the most like. It's
so shocking when
the most shocking part of the game is me running through, just like, oh, I found a lake, and then just shit just starts popping off. Giant things will turn on. It was so hectic. Sean would have just been hearing me from my room going, what the fuck is that? Shit.
I've been upstairs playing it, and Jack's been downstairs. Like, he is on the opposite side of the house from me. And I thought, like, I don't know what I thought, but I could just hear swearing coming from his bedroom. And Jack is the most placid, calm man you'll ever meet. But he got so angry that he threw the disc. He ejected it from his PS4.
Out of a window.
Out into the yard. And he was like a little bit drunk at the time. And he had to go out there in the dark and look for it.
I think that's the key to this, is that he was a little bit drunk.
Yes, otherwise he wouldn't normally do it.
He wouldn't normally do it. You know what it is? I think it's this repressed rage in Jack that we get glimpses of every now and again.
I'd like to see it.
Every once in a while something happens, and I just look into his fucking beautiful eyes and
his
just
soul.
See fucking hell. Just hell on earth just in his eyes. His soul is just shut down.
He will go postal one day.
Yeah.
I might not survive it, but
why he's in a customer service job is beyond me.
It's amazing. But it's a very special game. I'm very hot on it right now.
It's funny too, because like the new thing is the weapon arts.
Yep.
I don't use them.
See, I do constantly.
I don't use them at all. No, but maybe I'm just an old, like, I just stick to what I do. Like, I play Dark Souls the way I play Dark Souls.
Yep.
I don't change.
Well, it's funny, because that's when I realized weapon arts were really great, because I normally play with a greatsword, like, two-handed sword, and, like, I'd go up against, like, a shielded dude, and you're just kind of, like, banging on it, you're trying to, like, break down their stamina, so
kick.
Yeah, or, like, just to stagger them, though, if you hit them enough. But then I remembered, all I've got to do is hold L2 and hit R1. I've got a tailor-made move that just one hit knocks the shield out of the way.
That is true.
And it's just so quick, and it does massive damage as well.
I guess maybe another part of the reason I don't is because I use the axe. So its weapon art is just like a damage boost.
Which is really good.
It would be, but I don't use it ever because I rely on having a shield. Like, that's just
then
the way.
You should have a shield that lets you do it.
Yeah, my problem with that is I rely so heavily on having a shield that it needs to block 100% of the damage.
Yeah, well, you can upgrade any shield to do that if you invest in it enough.
Look, if I got a skill shield up to +10, it would. Oh.
Yeah, and it's easy to do. There's some really good skill
shields. You're changing the game. I need to find the ashes so I can start buying large Titanite and chunks. That's the real key. And
that's the secret beauty of this game. Like, because you can, spoilers, you can respec like you could in Dark Souls 2.
Let's just get something out of the way real quick before we continue. I don't believe in Dark Souls spoilers. Like, the only thing really is explaining to you what boss you go up against. But even that, like...
I feel like a name isn't so bad because it doesn't take away from what it is.
The impact of the boss for the first time.
Yeah.
The only spoiler I've actually encountered was when I watched a review, like, the night before we got it, and it showed us a boss that we fought together. And it was actually a really cool, different boss, and I was like, I wish I hadn't seen it, but, like...
You know what I thought was the most... And I don't know if this... We can cut this if you think this is truly upsetting. Do you know what the last boss looks like?
The dude out of Bloodborne?
No, he's the dude on the front cover of the game, of the box. I thought that was like... I was like, this is the first thing people see.
That's almost the most deceiving, like you never would have guessed it.
No, and it's so bizarre, like you just look at it.
I hope people didn't get upset about that one.
But I mean, you can't really. Like, it's on the front of the box.
Yeah, but you didn't have anything to relate it to. Like, I just thought, I was like, that's just a generic person that you are in the game. I don't really give a fuck.
Who he is and what he is.
Totally honest, don't give a fuck. I have no idea what's going on in this story. Zero.
I'm starting to get snippets.
But is this research that you've been doing?
No, it's like, well, I mean, it's part of that because I listen to podcasts.
Because, like, you were trying to explain to me early on, you're like, yeah, the city you've been trying to get to. I'm like, what do you mean?
I don't know how you missed that, because this game has some of the best, like, environmental flagging. Like, all you're doing constantly, if you ever look up at the sky, there's, at least for the first half of the game, there's a city on the horizon, and you're getting closer to it. And there's so many moments where you just, like, bust through. Which is interesting, because I couldn't stop noticing it, and then I was like, wow, I'm closer. And then, like, finally, you are, like, virtually at the base of it, and then you're climbing up to get to it.
Yeah, no, I understand, but I just never put it together. I don't think anyone explicitly told me I was going there. And if they did, it's like the way they do dialogue in Dark Souls is so cryptic in itself.
Yep.
That I just probably just didn't pay attention. But it's the same with, like, I don't really know the story of Dark Souls 2, and I don't really know the story of Bloodborne, but that's not why I play these games.
I got a quick shout out to the voice acting and the dialogue. It's so on point.
Oh, they've definitely crafted such a little world.
It's fucking creepy sometimes too. Like, I really want to talk to you after you get to the secret areas.
Shout out to whoever's doing creature design as well. Fuck. Yeah, some of them is just no, thank you.
That thing in the dungeons, that the big baby head.
Oh yeah, I was referring more to in that from the Irithyll fire, and you go down into the little watery bit, and then into the sewers where I went the wrong way, and it was like these water spider.
It's like a woman that's drowned, torso attached to a spider.
But like where her chest is, there's just open like teeth, just rows and rows and rows of teeth.
I've actually read like there's a lot of
chills.
There's a lot of strange imagery in this game. Very strange, very haunting. I really like it though.
Oh, it's excellent. Like, I understand why year after year From Software games are winning design awards and stuff. Like,
There's nothing else like it.
I don't think it is graphically the most impressive game.
Although it impresses me.
But the art style,
yep,
is where like there's things graphically that don't look great. Like the
character models.
The character models look pretty garbage, but
the costumes look incredible. Like,
textures are a bit muddy every now and again, and like especially if you're looking out into the distance, like you're looking at mountains and stuff, it all looks kind of
a bit out of view,
a bit meh. But see, the style of the art is fucking so good,
and the lighting blows me away.
Nah, the volumetric lighting is a bit like hit or miss. And then I was saying to Jack maybe it was Jack, maybe it was you, I don't even know. Maybe it was my housemate, but you finally have a shadow.
Yeah, okay. I didn't notice that.
You don't even have a shadow on Bloodborne.
Ah.
So like I was going through, and I don't even know if it's always, but I remember walking through a shaft of light and being like, I finally have a shadow.
I love like when you find sunlight and someone will have inevitably laid the message, praise the sun. And you always just seem to get to these little bits, like where there's some sunlight coming in.
I'm actually... Just so everyone knows how dumb I am, I didn't realize I could just write messages off my main menu.
I didn't realize for a long while.
For ages, until like yesterday.
But to be fair, I don't write messages.
I love messages, and here's why. No, I always did. I just thought I needed a soapstone or something that I didn't have, and I just didn't know how to get it. But I love them because you'll be in the middle of something. Like I got invaded, and I was like, fuck this, like I don't have that many Estuses. And I was in the middle of a fight, and almost like consecutively I just got 3 like appraisals for my messages, which gives you full health.
Yeah.
So I'm in a fight, I've lost a bit of health. Oh, I'm at full health again. Fighting a bit more, lost a bit of health. Oh, I'm at full health again.
It's a good feeling.
So I was like, messages for days.
I've only put down like 2 messages, and the one time one of them got raided, I was at full health anyway. Yeah. I was like, that's nice, I guess.
Well, I did 2 in the same area, and the best ones, all you need to do is just go like, beware right side.
Yeah.
Because when
people appreciate that.
I was in the dungeon, and from the fire, there's always one of those brand dudes
right
at the front door on the right, and I was like, beware right, and on that one we just got raided like 4 times.